peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
For joining us. I trust that you had a wonderful long weekend there, the Easter weekend. This is Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and I'm glad that you could find time to be with us today. Before we get into the headlines this morning, I'd like to bring us up to date with the latest in terms of where we stand in COVID-19. And Kenya, the cases that have been reported so far right now stands at 139,448 cases. Out of that, about 2,244 people have died and 94,361 have since recovered. Uganda, 41,016, and the death toll is 335. The number of people who have recovered in Uganda is 40,452. So Uganda, they're doing pretty well. And then South Africa, the cases right now stands at 1,552,416 cases. The death toll in South Africa is 52,995, and the recovery so far stands at 1,478,088. The total cases in Africa right now stands at 4,252,809, and the number of people who have died from the continent out of COVID-19 stands at 113,470, and those who have since recovered are now standing at 3,801,007 cases, and the global statistics right now stands at over 132 million cases, 437,230, and the global deaths are now standing at 2,874,233, and the global recovery is standing at 106,760,547. So that is where we are this morning, in line with the COVID-19. So the figures there continue to go up. So you're still urged to make sure that you're safe wherever you are out there in public. Wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, and sanitize. And if you really don't have to leave the house, please stay at the comfort of your home, which I think you're much safer there. All right. Thank you so much. So joining me this morning on the panel is Dr. Joseph Nyanchama. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, and my fellow panelists.
All right, nice to have you, Doc. And also we are joined by Douglas Kirimi from Meru County. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, to my friend Jevan Karanja, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, Professor Jared Onyari, and to our viewers across the world. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right. Thank you. And nice to have you, Douglas, and nice to see you today. And we're also joined by Jevan Karanja, all the way from Nanyuki. Jevan, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. And good morning to my fellow panelists, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, Douglas Kirimi, and Professor Jared Onyari. Always a pleasure showing up on Punchline TV.
Very well, thank you so much, Evan. Nice to see you today. And also we do have Professor Jared Onyari. Prof, a very good morning to you. Okay, so as we wait for Professor to be able to join us, he's there, but I think, sometimes technology, but he will be with us shortly. Let me take us through quickly on the headlines, and then we shall see what stories we will look at. And on the Standard newspaper this morning, the main headline, how to save the school calendar reopening date. Kenyans are staring at a possible long closure over rising infections and reluctance to adhere to containment measures. Parents and teachers are now calling for stricter enforcement endorsement. And then on the up there, MPs, you need each other. Uhuru succession. Lawmakers tell Raila, Mudavadi, and their partners the only sure way of taking the mantle is by galvanizing opposition base while making inroads in Jubilee's zone. And then just on the side there, Kenya's passionate letters from Chinese jail. That is the story on page 3 of the Standard newspaper. And then quickly we turn our attention to the Daily Nation this morning. Succession, why 2022 is a do or die. Each man faces unique challenges that undermine their positions on the treacherous terrain that is political deal making, and how they navigate these hurdles ahead of the 2022 presidential election will determine their fate. And we see the photos of opposition leader Raila Odinga, Deputy President William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Gideon Moi. And then just down there, vaccines, more men have received the jab. Uptake by health workers, teachers, and security personnel is a bit low, and the story is on page 10 and 11 of the Daily Nation. It's interesting that more men have gone for the jab than women. We will talk about that. I want to know why. Why is that? And the Star newspaper, the main headline there, One Kenya's 2022 lineup, a headache. Critics insist the elephant in the room remains identifying the flag bearer in next year's general election. And then just on the side, legislators strike deal on BBI bill after experts' opinion. So that is the story. That will be our subject for discussion at 11. So I'll just leave that over there. And so let's just start with this headline on the Daily Nation. Vaccines, more men have received the jab compared to women. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, why do you think this is so? Because also more men have died and have been affected compared to women.
Thank you, Miriam, and my fellow panelists. I hope you enjoyed your Easter. And you see, there could be several underlying factors, which is a difficult question really for me as to why women are less than men.
Yes.
The men could be more aggressive, and they are aware that they cut across. You know, ladies usually they are very careful. They stay at home, most of them, and you know, men are cruising all over. Maybe they start internal fear that since they have secretly traveled in several places without, if they are married, without their women knowing. So they suffer from the internal fear that they are at high risk. That is merely a proposition from my end. I do not have really an authoritative reason to say why, but I can only guess. That is all I could say, Miriam, and I.
All right. Thank you so much. And we encourage everybody, if you're in that category and you're supposed to go get your jab, please go get your jab. As the story on page 10 says, more men than women have been vaccinated against COVID-19, although the uptake is slow nearly a month into the rollout. Of the 238,648 people vaccinated nationwide by April 1st, 57% are men and 43% are women, according to Ministry of Health data, and 14 counties account for 75% of the total number of people vaccinated nationwide. There is still vaccine apathy among health workers, teachers, and security officers, as many other people have been vaccinated compared to these priority groups. About 135,220 men have received at least one dose compared to 103,428 women. It is unclear why women aren't going for the vaccine, although there's speculation that conflicting information about effects, for example, on those under birth control, among others, could be having an impact. A majority of people who have received the jab are not on the first phase of the priority list. As of April 1st, an estimated 108,537, that equates to 45% of other people not in the priority list, have received the AstraZeneca jab. Douglas, it's interesting that more men have gone for the jab compared to the women, because usually we will be the first people to take action when it comes to certain things, but that has not been the case. Maybe because of the myths surrounding this vaccine. I don't know. What do you think that is the case?
Miriam, I'm very shocked this morning to get to know that women form a majority of people that have not been vaccinated. Because when a crusade comes in the village, there's women who get converted first. When a new bank comes in town, it is women who go bank there. When a new circle comes in town, it is women who know that that circle is in town and they tell others after they have now subscribed and tested everything. I expected even on this vaccine rollout that women will go there and their children and protect themselves. Then men, we can follow later on. But now I cannot explain the phenomenon by women not getting vaccinated. Maybe it is the effects of COVID-19. The lives of people have been turned upside down. And remember, when there is an economic crisis or when there is a social upheaval, it is women and children that suffer most. So I think most women cannot be able to forego their day-to-day work so that they can be able to sustain their family, so that they can be able to find bread and water for their family. These women now, I think they are more concerned about the economic well-being than getting vaccinated. Maybe they will go out there with more awareness and everything. But my only understanding and only explanation to that is the great economic upheaval that we have gone through COVID-19. If it was in 2019 and 2018, we should have seen so many women coming out to be vaccinated because the economy was not battered as it is now by the effects of COVID-19. Mm-hmm. Remember, when there is an economic upheaval across any nation, across the world, it is women and children that suffer. So I think women are more determined to caution themselves economically than they are to get a vaccine, Miriam, because it is also said when you get to these vaccine centers, I've seen some women and also some people say, when you get to these vaccine centers at 5 a.m., you might spend a whole day trying to get a vaccine. So they may choose economic empowerment versus getting a vaccine. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay, that could be a very possible explanation as to why, because they have other things to do. I'm not saying that men don't have, but I don't know if I'll be willing to queue the whole day. But if it's going to save my life, then I would do that. I don't know. What do you make of it, Javen?
Miriam, it's very interesting that most men are getting vaccinated. And Miriam, from the figures that you're getting, the statistics that we have in hand, it is clear that more men have died from COVID-19 compared to our women. Maybe a reason enough to pull or to make men to have the courage and go take this vaccine compared to women. And as Douglas have said, maybe women are busy somewhere with other duties and they feel like they need to wait a bit and see how things will transpire. But Miriam, for a fact, this vaccine was not rolled out to all members of the public. Therefore, I think maybe from the public, the civil servants, maybe we have a bigger percentage of men compared to women. When you look at our police officers, when you look to our teachers, maybe a reason why we might have more men turning up to get the vaccine compared to our women. And Miriam, when we talk about the issue of getting everybody involved, the government should ensure that it encourages everyone who meets the qualification to get the vaccine. All these members of public who are supposed to get the vaccine, the 58 years and above, they get the right information, they get the right education and awareness so that they can go take the vaccine. Because at the end of the day, Miriam, in future, everyone in the country might get vaccinated. Therefore, Miriam, it is too early to say why men or women are not getting vaccinated. But all said and done, everyone should take their personal responsibility to go take the vaccine and to observe other MOH protocols so that we curb the spread of this monster called COVID-19.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And one of our viewers here, Max Banyika, nice to see you this morning. You're saying, Miriam, good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching. And you're saying on COVID-19, most women are smarter than men. I don't know. I have them here on the panel, so maybe they can tell me what they think about that. All right, let's just move on quickly to the Star newspaper and the main headline there, One Kenya's 2022 lineup. A headache, and the story is on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper, and it says the One Kenya Alliance is facing a tough challenge of picking its 2022 presidential lineup, even as it fights off the claims of being a deep state project. The new alliance of Gideon Moi, from KANU, Musalia Mudavadi, ANC, Kalonzo Musyoka from Wiper, and Moses Wetangula of Ford Kenya could disintegrate over flag-bearer disputes. Can they set aside their personal interest? And I just want to ask a general question here. Should they agree to work together? Of course, right now they've been having talks and all that. Should this alliance survive to 2022 and, they go as an alliance in the 2022 general election? Who do you think is likely to be their flag bearer? A doctor.
I can't remember, Miriam.
Of all the four,
I had said
who is likely?
Eh?
Of the four,
Hello?
who is likely? Yes, who do you think is likely to be endorsed by the rest? If you were to have your pick, who would you suggest they pick?
No, Miriam, it's not that who is likely.
Mm-hmm.
It is that is the dominant one will survive. But remember, I said, Miriam, earlier that when two men desire something, there has to be competition. In fact, that is the challenge. If you see a lot of information coming, there's a likely integration, then it means secretly all of them have shown a desire for the position. In this case, it's the presidency. That's why I said that if you desire one thing and you are several men, you are likely to cross each other and you are likely to compete. As to who's likely, Miriam,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot.
All right, Doctor.
Parallel.
Your chairman there, being very diplomatic. I don't know if Professor has joined us. Professor, if you can hear me, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam.
Oh, nice to have you. I see you're back in the city. Sasa Alliance, ya One Kenya. Yeah, now the headache is to figure out who will be the flag bearer. If you were to advise them, who would you advise them to pick as their flag bearer? Who will have the formidable force to take on Raila and maybe the other person who will be standing?
Miriam, look at the four. And when you stand for the presidential election, Miriam, you have to get prepared. Miriam, look at the four. Who is likely to have agents in all the polling stations in the Republic of Kenya? You look at them and tell me. The guess is mine. The guess is good as mine. The person who is capable to do in that one alliance is Gideon Moi. Yeah, you can't. Those ones have tried. Musalia will just put agent around Vihiga. And the Kalonzo will just do it in Central, and Wetangula will do it in Bungoma. So you just come before men and you say you want to be a president of this country when you are not properly tuned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Papa, ODM itself raises money, and there are some people who can invest in the Papa. Look at William Ruto. William Ruto, you normally see him carrying money in sacks. So this man can be able to finance his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So Miriam, from where I sit, and the way I've been seeing Gideon Moi moving, even taking care in charge of BPI, moving every part of this country, is in Isiolo, is in Garissa, is in Mombasa, and is in everywhere, is in the Bomet, very composed, Miriam. Watch this space. The man there to watch is Gideon Moi.
Okay.
And I don't think Gideon Moi is going to get his wealth to go and finance another man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Professor, thank you so much. But according to the Star, they say Gideon, despite being the son of the former President Daniel Moi, has yet to carve out a name for himself. He's still riding on his father's legacy, especially among elderly voters. Amusa Abdi, very good morning to you.
Morning, Miriam. Thank you so much.
Nice to have you. Go ahead.
Respond that, Miriam, first of all, just as a political science student, the headline you saw on Daily Nation saying that the number of men taking the job more than women, Miriam, and the professor also will agree with me. This is psychology, Miriam, and as usual, our Githeri media will have to use some catchy words on whatever is going in this country, Miriam. The feminist issue, the death of men and women.
But Musa, This is statistics from the Ministry of Health.
To my point.
Yes.
Just to, politically, it might mean that's what they are up to. But as far as now going pragmatic is concerned, I feel, Miriam, that the number of men taking the jab more than women is because, literally speaking, one of the frontline people, police officers, Miriam, are the soldiers, are the security people.
Yes.
And maybe the number might favor, the issue you've spoken about as far as, the people who are frontline are concerned. And the health issue, Miriam, you've spoken about the effect this jab is having on, women as far as, the issues of birth and, pregnancy is concerned. Second to the point, Miriam, about this OKA alliance. Miriam, I'm not a fan of Kenyan politics, and what I see is, culmination of, honestly being put, culmination of those people who have been overstaying in politics, Miriam, for too long. When you look at Kalonzo Musyoka, you see someone who started politics in 80s. When you look at Musalia Mudavadi, he has been a vice president. We already understand and know him. Gideon Moi, you've just spoken about how much he's relying on his father's legacy as far as, trying to reach that ambition for presidency is concerned, Miriam. And one thing Kenya should know, and it is not that I'm supporting Gideon Moi or anyone's son as far as these issues of presidency is concerned. It has happened even in one of the worst democracies in the world, that is United States of America, whereby George W. Bush, dad, George Herbert Walker Bush, a son and the president, a son and father, both of them were presidents serving in the White House, Miriam, and that one can come about as far as Kenyan politics is concerned. It has already happened with Jomo Kenyatta and his son who is ruling this country, Uhuru Kenyatta. And being given the fact, Miriam, they say that the best way to call a Kenyan that an indefinite leave and a university professor or anyone become a stupid, they said April Fool's Day is not usually the day for the fools. It's actually 7th or 4th of August of every election year. That is the time every Kenyan becomes stupid. So I know we are going to follow the ethnic way, Miriam. And fortunately speaking, as one of the minorities in this country, I feel, the larger ethnic tribes will take the order of the day, Miriam. No issues of ideals here is going to be spoken about. And the first one I'm speaking about is the likes of Moses Wetangula and Kalonzo Musyoka. So I feel, it's a premature alliance. We never know, Miriam. There is a hint. People are saying William Ruto might work with Raila Amolo Odinga. We never know what will offer from that alliances of Kenyan politics. But for me, it is very early to judge who shall take the day there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Douglas Kirimi, if you were to advise One Kenya Alliance to have a pick, who do you think stands a better chance at representing that alliance? Should they make it to the election year next year?
Miriam, you like changing me on that question, but I will tell you the truth. The
We're just trying to help them,
Douglas.
They're having a headache.
The former Prime Minister.
Okay.
So Miriam, this is my analogy.
Okay.
Gideon Moi, you have read from the start that he is yet to be able to decouple himself from or detach himself from
his father's legacy
and the name Moi. Gideon Moi, except that he is the association of the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Daniel Arap Moi. He has nothing that he has invested politically. If Gideon Moi goes to my village today, young children that were born after me cannot be able to easily recognize him if he walks around. And that translates into votes in the ballot. Kalonzo Musyoka has not invested beyond Machakos, beyond Kitui, beyond Saikuru. The king of Mururu, Musalia Mudavadi, I said before, Professor Jared Onyari, I think, said that you just move and Korasas around Vihiga County. And at the end of the day, the other person in that place is Moses Masika Wetangula. Moses Wetangula is the king of Bungoma. He moves around Kabuchai, Sirisia, where he was an MP for many years, and he doesn't go anywhere. So Miriam, the automatic leader of the One Kenya Alliance will be the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Why? Because Gideon Moi is the financier of all these activities that we are seeing. When they want tea, they can't go to Moses Masika's home. Can't he not keep prepare tea for them? When they want tea, they can't go to the Saikuru's man, Kalonzo Musyoka's home in Karen. They can't go there. When they want tea, they can't go to Musaria's home in Karen. Can't he be able to provide the tea for the 5? These people are political cowards who cannot be able to do anything for themselves except endorse me, endorse me, endorse me. And another perspective, Miriam. Remember, Gideon Moi cannot keep carrying grown-up men on his back every time financially. Gideon Moi is not a foolish man. Gideon Moi has been accused of being a very stingy politician. And he said when he was in Laikipia that the small cows that his father left him. And when he earns his own because he has been working, he has not stolen from anyone. Kenya is going to come to a standstill. So a man like that who has been accused of being a very stingy politician, when you look at him politically, Miriam, he cannot be able to carry Professor Jared Onyari today because he is running for governor in Kisii. Javan Karanja because he is running for governor in Laikipia. He cannot keep carrying everyone on his back. If you have been accused publicly and people know that you don't give your money easily, then there is a third force. Which is this third force? There are people who are talking to these people so that they can come back to Raila, or they can be able to go on their own. And you know very well, Miriam, when they go on their own, Gideon Moi cannot take his billions and gamble with Kalonzo Musyoka, gamble with Moses Mawasika Wetangula, a man that moves around the Kabuchai, around Sirisia, and nowhere else, Miriam. So at the end of the day, when you look at it critically, it is either President Uhuru Kenyatta wants these people to work with Raila Odinga, all these people are going to be mincemeat by 8 a.m., right? Professor Makau Mutua said the other day to William Ruto, Miriam, because Gideon Moi has never come to my village in Meru, has never come to Meru like William Ruto. These other people, all of them, Miriam, they are kings in their own villages, grown-up men who want to be carried by Gideon Moi. I believe Gideon Moi has no money, Miriam, to campaign and also finance people like Professor said. I like his point. You cannot be able to campaign and give money to Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka has been in government more than Gideon Moi. Why would Gideon Moi take his billions and fund Kalonzo Musyoka, who cannot even win a seat in Saikuru, Miriam? So we need to be very clear when we are talking about these presidential people. All these people are working for Raila Amolo Odinga. If they are not working for Raila Amolo Odinga, prepare for a very tough battle from William Samoei Ruto.
Okay.
Thank you.
Douglas, why do you sound like you're one of those Kenyans I've seen calling Gideon Moi a Cerelac politician? I don't know. But should the principles...
Miriam,
yes.
Miriam, hear this. I have liked the analysis they have given. Remember, your question was, among the 4 candidates, who is likely?
Strong? Yes, who's likely to be...
So you can't bring Papa. Papa is not among the 4. And let me tell you, Miriam, presidency is a marathon. It's not a 100 meter sprint that you can go to every other village. Miriam, it's a marathon.
But they've started early, Prof. We don't know. Maybe next year they would have convinced
Kenyans.
Kenyans.
Which will put you there. There are people behind you who are just organizing, and Miriam, people who become presidents. And where is Musa? Musa is a political science student, and he can tell you, you cannot be able to predict this person.
Okay.
You cannot. It's not hostile. It's not harmful. It's just there. It's just there. You realize one day you wake up. Let me tell you what happened. Let me just tell you this because you have provoked me. What happened in 2002? It is not that if Gideon Moi stands, he becomes a president. It's not a must. But the most important, Miriam, he has started the journey. The stone which starts rolling continue gathering momentum. This is what happens in 2002. Moi was trying, he said, I have got 2 billion to put down for you to campaign. He asked Saitoti, what do you have? Musalia, what do you have? Kalonzo, what do you have? Raila, what do you have? They were there. It was just Kalonzo was coming with 600 million. And Uhuru Kenyatta came with 4 billion. He took the ticket. That's how he was supported. Is he a president today? Yes. So it's not a must that Gideon Moi gets the ticket and he becomes the president. But watch this space, Miriam. You cannot contest the president of this country if you don't have your own finance or you are financed by people, Miriam.
Okay. Very well. Thank you so much, Prof. Should the principles go their way, I'm reading from page 4 of the Star newspaper. Should these 4 principles go their separate ways, they're likely to suffer defeat of the ballot that would set back their political careers. The 4 say they're out to breathe fresh air and detoxify the country's politics. See, they do have a mission, right? Critics say the overriding problem is identifying a presidential candidate. Javan Karanja, it cannot be that difficult, surely.
Miriam, it is an uphill task for the One Alliance to get their presidential candidate. But Miriam initially asked who might be the flag bearer. Miriam, for me, I think Musalia Mudavadi is a man to watch because although now he has not prepared himself well because he rotates around Mululu and Vihiga, if Miriam, he will be endorsed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the kingmaker in 2022, or Baba, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, then Musalia Mudavadi has high chances compared to Wetangula and Kalonzo and Gideon Moi in terms of getting supports across the country. This is a man who is composed. He has a track record. Therefore, I think he is the man to watch. But Miriam, all said and done, if all factors remain constant and Raila Odinga goes his separate way and William Ruto and this One Kenya Alliance, one thing that we are facing is an inevitable runoff in 2022. If they go their separate way, nobody will gather the 50 plus 1 vote. Therefore, at the end of the day, we might see them joining other forces, like the camp of former Prime Minister or the camp of Deputy President. Therefore, this Kenya One Alliance, Miriam, they will depend on what Raila Odinga will do, or the ambitions of Raila Odinga, whether he will support them, or whether President Uhuru Kenyatta will have a hand in the coalition. That is the only survival they have. But to me, these guys, Miriam, they are threatening to run for presidency. Kalonzo Musyoka have been threatening from 2007. He ran for presidency. But since 2013, he has been saying, Akia Mungu, I will be on the ballot in 2013. Akia Mungu, 2017, I will be on the ballot. Now he is here saying he will be on the ballot in 2022. Kalonzo is threatening to be a presidential candidate. Wetangula have not even declared whether he will be running for president. Gideon Moi has not come out clearly. The only person who seems to be serious is Musalia Mudavadi. Thank you.
Okay. So, Jevan, before I go to the next person, they're saying that they're out to breathe fresh air and detoxify the country's politics. Are they the right people to bring in some sanity in our politics?
I don't think they are the right people because, Miriam, when you look at their track record, these are people who have been in politics for many years and they have not impacted the terms of development or the economic prosperity that we need as a country. Therefore, I think to Kenyans, it's high time that we go for a fresh breed of leaders if possible. Miriam, if not, let's go and maybe organize something and get someone who has a track record, whether small, at least something that they have done for this country. But I don't think the Kenya One Alliance is the alternative force between William Ruto or Raila Odinga. To me, the two horses now remains Raila Odinga and William Ruto. But Miriam, if these guys will get support, in 2013, nobody anticipated President Uhuru Kenyatta becoming the president. There was the like of Saitoti and the Prime Minister then Raila Odinga. Therefore, it depends on the support that they will get, Miriam.
All right, thank you.
Miriam,
Yes.
just have this.
Yes.
Miriam, if you walk in, when we were growing up, Joseph will tell you that you will walk on the road and you find a small boy. He starts insulting you, throwing stones at you, and then you wonder, how can this small boy get the confidence to do all this? Miriam, should you make a mistake to go and touch that boy, you will find the older boys coming from where we are, Miriam, and they will mess you up. Miriam, I'm 100% that one Kenya Alliance, there is someone behind it. That alliance does not belong to those four gentlemen, Miriam. And Miriam, you can see at the moment they were summoned somewhere. They were told you go to Machakos and agree and have one candidate. Did it happen?
No.
So Miriam, that one alliance, that dog has got its owner.
The dog is not even barking so much.
The rest of political science and see who is the owner. And what I'm trying to say that, Miriam, we are having that one Kenya Alliance, Deputy President William Ruto and ODM. So let us watch this space and see among those four candidates, Miriam, you are seeing. If those deeper states agree that it is Wetangula, it is Musalia Mudavadi, it is Gideon Moi, it is Kalonzo Musyoka, that's an alliance to watch, Miriam. And I agree what will happen, we will have a rerun. There is the owner of one Kenya Alliance.
Okay. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama. Yes, go ahead. Who's that?
Miriam, I have a small question.
All right.
The real question should be, why One Kenya Alliance? Why are they even meeting? Why are they having conversations? Everyone was getting more deep in his heart knows that all these things, there are matters, whatever is happening around One Kenya Alliance, Kalonzo Musyoka knows, Moses Masika Wetangula knows, the king of Bungoma, the king of Mururu village knows, every one of them, the four of them knows. Why are they meeting? And I want to agree with the Professor Jared Onyari. This is a group that is owned by someone. Someone is micromanaging them somewhere. Getting Gideon Moi, is a very problematic. Getting Gideon Moi to meet him for business or anything from Baringo is a problem. But Gideon Moi finds time to follow people in Kabuchai, in Matungu, follow people in Machakos, saying they are together, they are trying to work together. These people are working for someone. And Miriam, I have said categorically, I don't soothe anyone. These people are working for one common goal. And that one common goal, the owner of the One Alliance Kenya knows who is the owner, who is the beneficiary of this. It is not the four of them. The four of them cannot be able to benefit as it is today, but they can benefit maybe from the after results of the One Kenya Alliance. They can be able to benefit, but none of them is going to inherit it as a broke. Musalia Mudavadi knows when Kabogo broke the Uru's home in Nairobi State, the Esprit Road. They know very well that even in writing the agreement that they had agreed Uhuru to transfer everything to him and he becomes president in 2012 never materialized. They know they are going to benefit from the after results of One Kenya Alliance, and that is where they are going. Nobody, Karanja said, they are threatening to run for president. Every one of them is one, including myself. I can threaten people tomorrow. I want to run for president. It won't go beyond my village. Thank you, Miriam.
Threatening to be president. Dr. Nyanchama. These are seasoned politicians, surely, and they want to bring in fresh air in Kenyan politics. Can we trust them to do that? That seems to be the number one agenda, Professor. They want to breathe in some fresh air. You don't believe they can do that? Dr. Nyanchama.
Right. No, unmute.
Do you know, Miriam, why the lion is the king of the jungle? Do you know, by the way, the lion is not the largest. It's not the biggest. It's not the tallest. It's not the most intelligent. But it is the king of the jungle. Why? Even when it sees the largest animal in the jungle, which is the elephant, it does not see the size. It sees meat. The person who will rule this country is the one who has the attitude of a lion. I submit.
All right, very straight to the point. Musa?
Miriam, Professor Onyari, and I would like to tell Douglas very correctly, in politics, what is false can be logical in politics. If you really want to be logical in politics, then it doesn't have to be true. You just need a word. And what is false is logical in politics. And what is logical don't have to be moral in politics. And what is moral don't have to be legal in politics. And what is illegal in politics, Miriam, shall be made legal by those who control the means. Max Weber said, those who control means of production. And he who runs and controls a revolution, Miriam, in any society, that is the means of production. In this sense, the means of production is the presidency, Miriam. The only person who never gave direction on determining the outcome of the next election when they retired was Mwai Kibaki. Jomo Kenyatta was cut short by his eternal sleep. As Professor Onyari has put it, the means of production had to put on 2 billion so that another one will add 4 billion in 2002, and that was Moi. In a way, he decided to determine the outcome of that election. And in a way, indirectly, his decision could have not came in 2002, but it came in 2013, Miriam. And Moi lived to see the person whom he gambled with 2 billion Kenya shillings becoming the president of the country. So Miriam, what I see this for One Kenya Alliance, I don't see them as those people who really want to eat the meat. As Professor Nyanchama, Dr. Nyanchama has put it, I see them as the custodians of the bones, Miriam, actually not the meat. And when I say the custodians of the bones, you know, Miriam, the head, bone, the skull, and the legs are different. So maybe the head is in Kabuchai, the right hand is in Mululu, the abdomen is in Machakos, but Miriam, the meat is with the custodian. So, you know, even if you are told, even in modern contemporary politics, Miriam, you are told it doesn't matter how beautiful or how, you know, fat or how attractive you are. As long as you have a functional heart which can beat for 10 or 1,000 years to come, as Hitler's put it, then you are functional. So I don't see these 4 people as being functional. They are just the careers, Miriam. They are means to an end, as like Machiavelli has put it. They said the end justifies the means. So they are just, let's say, when those people, you know, when Prophet Award comes in a town, they wipe the town, they clean the roads. I think these are just people who are cleaning the road.
For who?
The clear picture, Miriam.
They're cleaning the road for who? Could you guess, maybe?
I would say maybe they are the catalyst, but they are not the true enzyme.
All right.
We should be differentiate between the catalyst and the enzyme here. And maybe they are just meant to increase the momentum, but they are never meant to achieve the end. And when I will say this, Miriam, in politics, you don't have to shout the loudest so that you can be heard. And that was better explained by Nicholas DeWatt. Very silent man. He doesn't have to shout. But when he strikes, Miriam, his deals, then it could have an equivocal effect everywhere. The same was happening with this president. I failed to recall his name. He's from United States of America. I failed to recall him. But Miriam, when you see, or even how Queen Elizabeth functions, Miriam, she's very silent. She doesn't have to be very alarmist. But do you know Queen Elizabeth, indirectly, Miriam, she forced Anthony Eden out of office with her sweet words when the economy was, you know, when they were in that function of how things were going. And even she told Winston Churchill, Winston, you are old. And you know, Winston never wanted to leave power until he saw, you know, strokes. They were coming at him. So Miriam, as far as this is concerned, I see 3 people in Kenyan politics to be the future presidents. Not even the future presidents, to be people who can really have a say in the ballot. I can say Deputy President William Ruto is definitely, if not going to be a credible one, is going to be the chief opposition. Let us not argue about that. He is already has shown he is a very credible leader of opposition. Miriam, secondly, it is Raila Amolo Odinga. And third, Miriam, it's going to be Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He's not going to be elected. Yes, he respects the constitution, but he's going to determine who is coming into power. And when I see Musalia Mudavadi, Miriam, it's a human nature. Thomas Hobbes said, human are evil, egocentric, rude, and they're always brutal. And I will describe him in this way. When I see Musalia Mudavadi, I see Vihiga. Let us be rightful in our hands. And when I see Gideon Moi, I see a frustrated child who is not yet to forget his dad's milk. When I see Kalonzo Musyoka, as Javan has put it, I see someone who threatens, you know, to use all the tactics to come into power. And so, Miriam, these 4 catalysts are going to survive on the favors of the chief ensign, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, and the old gold, that is Raila Amolo Odinga. And so I don't see any essence of, you know, being prematurely saying One Kenya Alliance being so ideal. Miriam, in politics, you don't have to be ideal. You only need to be abnormal. You don't have to be ideal in politics, Miriam. And that is why Idi Amin came into power. And that is why Donald Trump came into power. And that is why Mobutu Sese Seko came into power, Miriam. So I think for all these, shenanigans happening in OK, One Kenya Alliance, Miriam, we've seen better alliance, Miriam. Like Pentagon, which was decided by Raila Amolo Odinga. So they are yet to reach that level, Miriam, I submit.
All right, thank you so much. And Mobutu was installed after they killed Patrice. All right, so now these very four formidable forces that seek to be the presidential candidate, hopefully come next year's election. Musalia Mudavadi, NSC leader, is 61 years old. Musalia was first elected unopposed in Sabatia as Member of Parliament in 1989. Musyoka, he's 67 years old. He was first elected MP for Kitui North constituency in 1985 at the age of 32. And Moi, he's 58 years old and currently serving his second term as Senator for Baringo. Moses Wetangula, he's a Bungoma Senator, 64 years old, serving his second term and was first nominated as Kano MP in 1992. So we've seen they've been in politics for quite a while, save for maybe Gideon Moi, but the rest of them have been there since the 80s and early 90s. That is for Moses Wetangula. And they've been part and parcel of the politics of this country. And so after all this, they're coming out, Professor, and they're saying, you know what, forget that. We are going to breathe in some very fresh air. Are they the right people to do this?
Miriam, that's why I said, Miriam, to stand for presidency is not an event, Miriam. It is a process. It's something which you sit down and you plan. And this particular period of time, Miriam, I am going to make it, Miriam. Even let me just use the case of President Barack Obama. Miriam, that man, I predicted, Miriam, that he would be the president of the United States of America in 2004 when I saw him addressing the Democratic Congress, Miriam. Yes. And this man, Miriam, had started doing humanitarian work, Miriam, in the village, in the grassroots, Miriam. Mm-hmm. And he had started connecting, Miriam, with the people, Miriam. It doesn't matter that, Miriam, that you have been there or not there, Miriam. You should be prepared, Miriam. And when you hear myself arguing for Gideon Moi, you have heard him say, Miriam, like this. This is a man whom you have to watch, Miriam. He said, Miriam, when the people are tuning the guitar, you don't start dancing. When the playing of the guitar comes, Miriam, what will happen? And that's why I want to agree almost entirely with what Musa is trying to do, Miriam. The president, Miriam, you don't work one morning and you say you are becoming one, Miriam. Mm-hmm. Some guys here, as we are in the panelist, Miriam, we will decide we are making Douglas Kirimi our president. And then he comes in. So, Miriam, if you have not been in the game, you cannot wake up one morning, Miriam, and you say you are going for presidents. So it's an unfortunate, Miriam. The new party we are talking about, Miriam, you should be there. You should be there, Miriam. Mm-hmm. And Miriam, let me tell you, when I tell you there is an honor of a dog, take me serious, Miriam. Mm-hmm. My grandfather, this is what he used to do. And I've never seen a wise man like that, my grandfather, among the grandchildren of his, especially the grandsons. The favorite grandsons, Miriam, what he will do, he will send him out and he starts sharing meat or food among the remaining grandchildren who has come. When the favorite will come, he will say, oh, look here, oh, we have finished everything. You just give him something small, something small. The other grandchildren foolishly will give that favorite child. And then he say, oh, something remained here, they will top him. And this son will eat more. What am I trying to say, Miriam? The One Kenya Alliance, the owners are the Prime Minister and the President. The other day you heard Kalonzo saying that Nene Musare saying that there is an option he can work with with Raila Amolo Odinga. Mm-hmm. So in essence, Miriam, maybe in the future, not now. The characters you are seeing, the old wine in the old skin, Miriam. I don't know how they say it, Miriam. The one you are seeing around him, apparently the president will come from that place, Miriam. It is too late that Chavan will not rise again on Nyanchama and he have an impact of this country, Miriam. So you have to be prepared. And I heard Douglas talking about Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia Mudavadi, President Mwai Kibaki wanted to make him the president in 2013. In fact, he was the favorite. And Musalia Mudavadi is this man who wants that he went to school and he thought he's the only economist. Others are coming in and he keeps on talking about economy. You don't talk economy in the streets. You talk about economics in the government. So if you are waiting to be endorsed to Douglas, you will be shocked. You must fight. I as much as I don't like Gideon, I don't like William Ruto, but he's a fighter. He has fought until he has gotten the space. So Miriam, we cannot start now and say we can make it, Miriam, unless President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he sees far like a giraffe, like Moi. He said, yes, this is the president for the future. Not 2022, 2027, by 2022 will be the president. That is how you will determine. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much.
You know, Miriam.
Yes.
I don't know whether my fellow panelists listened very carefully to the testimonies from the former Prime Minister, echoed by the President. I am sorry if I can misquote, but he said it, I heard it. Did you hear the Prime Minister say, nilikuwa hali mahututi? Did anyone of you hear?
Yes,
we heard him.
Did you hear the President saying, we thank God for sparing the Prime Minister's life?
Yes.
Are you not seeing an invisible narrative which will emerge that God spared this man for one reason? Kenya needs him. Just watch the space. Watch this space.
Doc, are you prophesying?
Why the former Prime Minister withdrew from being a presidential candidate in ODM?
They said it's an April Fool's joke, but you can't make an April Fool's joke on the 2nd of April. It doesn't make sense. Go ahead, Doctor. Yes.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is this. Look at the words spoken when the president was with the Prime Minister. There is a narrative coming, and it's going to be a soft narrative. You know why Jesus Christ was very effective? He was very brief because the reputation was right ahead of him.
Amen.
That is what the former Prime Minister is doing. The reputation is already ahead. I can see it. And these days is very brief. Do you know why? They are using the principle, the greatest leader, Jesus Christ. I submit.
All right. And Doc, just drop there some words of wisdom. Yes, go ahead. Or maybe from what I was seeing, the ODM and what happened after that announcement, and then they had to retract back and all that, saying it was April Fool's Day. But maybe they thought if Raila now was to make it open that is running, because we saw here the headlines, and I think we talked about it, that would sort of mess up this BBI process, and they don't want that to be. They don't want too much politicking around it. They want the process to end, the referendum to end, and then now he can come out. I don't know. That is how I try to interpret that. I don't know. Douglas, go ahead. Was it Douglas?
You asked Professor a very profound question on the formidable politicians in the four people in the One Kenya Alliance. Miriam, these people have not been formidable politicians to the people of Kenya.
But
they have been formidable politicians to their own whims and qualms and the selfish ambitions to continue holding to power and also holding into government. Miriam, for the last 28 years that Kalonzo Musyoka was in government as a vice president, as a minister, as an assistant minister, as an MP in Mwingi, what impact did you see in Busia County, in Nyanza, the entire of Nyanza, the entire of Eastern Yote, not the raw Eastern where he comes from in Saikuru. People in Saikuru today continue suffering because of lack of water. In terms of public engagement, in terms of public help that we benefited from Kalonzo Musyoka is zero. We only associate him with the grabbed Yatta land in Machakos County. Miriam, when this Moses Masika Wetangula was nominated in 1993 by President Moi as a young lawyer, Moses Masika Wetangula has not benefited the people of Kenya despite being a member of parliament since I was born, Miriam. This Gideon Moi has been a very powerful man behind the scenes in Kanu since 1980s, 90s, and he became a Baringo MP in 2002, and 2007 he was kicked out. 2013 he became a senator, and 2017. What impact has Gideon Moi brought to this country as a politician? Miriam, when you look at it from the king of Mururu, Musalia Mudavadi, the endorse me man, he wants to be endorsed everywhere. And the professor said, you cannot talk about economics as if you're the only one who went to the School of Economics in Nairobi University. Forget about other universities in the world. There are people who went to better School of Economics across the world than Musalia Mudavadi. He keeps talking about the very one thing that he needs to be endorsed. If you look at it critically, Miriam, these people who are masquerading as formidable leaders, they are not formidable leaders as people who have worked for the people of Kenya. They have only worked to sustain themselves politically. Look at Moses Wetangula. You can't beat him in Bungoma because he can use violence and everything. He knows the terrain. Gideon Moi knows the terrain in Baringo alone. Kalonzo Musyoka knows the terrain in Saikuru, where he comes from. All these people, Miriam, who are in One Kenya Alliance, they are brokers who are working for a certain political function, and their political leader is known. Miriam, professor said, these people, why are they meeting? Actually, why are they meeting? Why don't they go and meet at Musalia's home? They meet at Gideon's Moi and everything. And when they meet, they also leave one seat that is unoccupied. The people of Kenya, they cannot take a picture with. So Miriam, at the end of the day, these politicians are not formidable politicians for anyone's sake. They are only formidable politicians because they are looking for a job and to keep a job as the senators, as MPs, and as a vice president. Even Musalia Mudavadi was a vice president in this country, Miriam. Okay. What benefit have we seen? I don't like William Ruto. When you mention William Ruto when I'm sleeping, I wake up and go and do other things. I would rather wake up and write in the middle of the night. But William Ruto has gone out there. I have claimed he has used his student resources to empower the people of Kenya, donate to churches. What is the impact of Kalonzo Musyoka? What is the impact of Musalia Mudavadi, who calls himself a pair of safe funds? Show me churches that he has fundraised before in Mururu. Right. Miriam, at the end of the day, these are people that I'm telling you, they are going to benefit from the leftovers of this One Kenya Alliance. Okay. This One Kenya Alliance is not going to benefit Kalonzo. It's not for Musalia Mudavadi. It's not for Moses Masika Wetangula, the man from Bungoma. It is for a certain political function, and their leader is known. So these, after the leftovers, that they will be given prime minister, chief minister, some titles, Miriam. And at the end of the day, give me the impact of these people and I'll show you a failed Kenya. Okay. Miriam, before I was born, some of these people, as I conclude, were ministers and the vice president in this country. What have they done to the people of Kenya? For 30 years, these people have been masquerading around as national leaders, threatening us to run for president. They should give us a break. Okay, thank you so much. Now, Ujevan, on page 4, as we conclude, on page 8 of the Standard newspaper, there's a part there that says, the title is "You Need Each Other to Win 2022." Polls allies tell opposition bigwigs, and let me just take a look at that. Now, the feeling, just a part of that, the feeling is that Raila should back Mudavadi after winning Matungu. Mudavadi's rating went up. Luya has higher chances of getting this seat with the support of Raila. That is according to Savula. So they're gauging the win that we had, the ANC had, and Ford Kenya had in the by-elections, and they're saying, you know what? Out of that, it is about time, Raila Odinga supported Mudavadi. Javen. They're gauging, Professor, out of that win. Javen, go ahead. Javen is not there. All right, Musa, as we conclude.
Miriam.
Yes, Miriam.
According to Savula, they're saying that after, the feeling is that Raila should back Mudavadi. After winning the Matungu by-election, Mudavadi's ratings went up. So for that reason, it is about time for Raila to back Mudavadi because of that. Ratings are very good right now.
Miriam, going by the politics of African continent, Miriam, supporting someone simply because they have defeated you in the polls is something which is very miraculous, Miriam. In African politics, I know it is normal with Americans and with the Britons, Miriam, and with the Asian tigers, the likes of General Mahathir and Lee Kuan Yew, Miriam, and General Suharto. But coming to Africa and particularly to Kenya, Miriam, as Professor Onyari has put it, if there is one unfortunate political and presidential candidate in this country, it is Musalia Mudavadi. I will describe him as an individual who cannot take advantage of the opportunity posed to him. To him, Miriam, he thinks that everything comes over silver platter. Actually, if indeed Musalia Mudavadi could have moved alone long time ago, Miriam, we would have been speaking of a front-runner presidential candidate now. But simply, Musalia Mudavadi doesn't understand, Miriam, on how to take advantage of a leap of an opportunity because he is the ideal candidate. And simply speaking, for me, Miriam, if I will look at the ideals and maybe look at someone, maybe you see he can resonate and maybe think with his economics, Miriam, he is better than others. He is worse himself, but he's better than others. But he doesn't know how to take advantage of the opportunity, Miriam. Can he be Napoleon Bonaparte? Napoleon only saw a microsecond of an opportunity, Miriam, and the next day was a revolution in 1789. Can he be that way? Mm-hmm. Can he be Adolf Hitler? Can he be patient like Adolf Hitler, Miriam? I'm not glorifying Adolf Hitler, but Hitler had to wait, Miriam, from 1918. He tried a coup in 1923, it failed. He tried it in 26, it failed. Great Depression came, Adolf Hitler got elected under Nazi Party. I don't see those qualities, Miriam, in Musalia Mudavadi. And so for me, Raila Odinga, Miriam, in 2017, he got 44% in Isiolo vis-a-vis William Ruto, who got 54%. The other 2% went to Abdul Badida. So Miriam, Raila Amolo Odinga is someone whom even in 2007, the northern part of this country, Miriam, the Northerners and the Cushites, we overwhelmingly voted for Raila Amolo Odinga. Mm-hmm. And even up to now, it's just that Miriam, he has been aging and he has been really not making decisions. But this is someone, Miriam, if today he can decide to run for presidency, come 2022, Miriam, I will not be regretful, Miriam, of electing Raila Amolo Odinga as the president, because the democracies I'm enjoying is because of this man. Mm-hmm. The Great North Road, Miriam, from Nairobi to Moyale, it's because of his Grand Coalition government we are enjoying, the international airport in Isiolo. So I have even transversed in Isiolo, right. Miriam town. I've been seeing ANC headquarters in Isiolo, ANC office, that branch. Professor Onyari used
we have to go now.
I think submitting Miriam, you should not be threatening. Mm-hmm. There is nothing as unfortunate as threatening, even if your opponent is weak.
All right.
The only thing you can do, Miriam, is to have an inner search of his soul and deciding on what he wants to be.
Very well.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you so much, and thank you. We had to drag it a bit because we started a bit late, but thank you so much.
Miriam, let me that's only one sentence, Miriam.
Let's just take a break, and then because Doc is coming in, I know we will continue with this conversation, Prof. Please, I beg. All right, we'll see you in a very short bit. Don't go too far. This has been Good Morning Africa. Good morning.